I'm of the opinion that every gardener should keep daily records of the conditions and harvest in their garden plot. You could go online and search your hardiness zone, your last and first frost dates, your weather forecast, your actual weather. That's going to be the nearest government weather station, which, if your landforms vary very much at all, your garden could be very much different than what the government weather station is looking at. Not only that, you can build yourself a microclimate. So that being said, it's January the 2nd. I have to start a new file. I put my data in Microsoft Excel, so I have a workbook, and I start a new one every year. This is the first page on my workbook. It's the sunny plot, I've got it called. That is the thermometer that's reading just out in the open grounds. Whatever's growing in the meadow in that open first garden area, these are the conditions that those plants are experiencing. And what I've got done is I've made this table, and I have the date as the first column. Starting with January the 1st and going all the way to December the 31st. Second column is maximum temperature for the day in degrees Celsius. If you're doing it in Fahrenheit, you can just put degrees Fahrenheit. The minimum temperature in degrees Celsius. The mean temperature. So that's your maximum, minimum, plus minimum divided by 2. That I have as a formula in the cell, so I don't have to calculate that. The computer does that itself. Relative humidity, I get a maximum and minimum humidity. So when I redo this, I think I'm going to do the humidity the same as I'm doing the temperature. But for this year, I've done it, I just calculated the relative humidity, the average humidity for the day from the maximum minimum that I get from my thermometers. Precipitation in millimeters. I don't know how to measure the amount of snowfall yet, so when it's just snowfall, I take it from the government website, and 1 centimeter of snow equals 1 millimeter of precipitation. This is why in the beginning there's a lot of blanks here in precipitation. That's when there was nothing that day. I could put zeros there, I suppose. This is the year that I bought my rain gauge. And so you can see in notes, first direct precipitation record. That's when I got my rain gauge on May the 18th. And from then on, any rain, then I just measured directly, right? Then I have weekly precipitation. The reason I put weekly precipitation there is because a lot of times they give the recommendation that your garden should have so many inches or millimeters or what of rain per week. So when I'm putting on the precipitation, I put in that manually, then the computer adds up. So you can see when I'm going down there, you're looking up here, it goes down 1 week and then it restarts. Each week and then restart. That gives me for each week how much precipitation I got in that week. But then I have total precipitation that adds up every day during the year. So if I wanted to know how much I got in January, I can just go to January 31st here, and I've added up to 26.6 millimeters. By the end of February, I've got 167 millimeters, but that is January's plus February's. I was going to take the soil temperature, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm supposed to go about it. So now this, back when I started my channel, one of the reasons I started my channel was because the advice you get either online or from a magazine, it's for your average agricultural areas. Which if you live away from agriculture areas, that could be vastly different. But not only that, each agriculture area is different than another, and that's why, like out on the prairies, they have a lot of wheat and oats and that kind of thing, grasses. PEI is an agriculture area, but they grow potatoes because they have a different climate regime. This is why this DGDU is daily growing degree units. It is calculated, in brackets I got 5, so it's base 5, from 5 degrees Celsius. The average temperature, anything above 5, goes 1 growing degree unit. So if the average temperature during the day was 6 degrees, it'll be 1 growing degree unit for base 5. 10 degrees will be 5 growing degree units for base 5. The computer is doing that for each day. And then over in AGDU, that's accumulated GDUs. So if I scroll down, once it starts to get warmer, now we're starting to add up. You see? There's also your base 10. So your base 5 is your cool season crops. Your base 10 is your warm season crops, like the grasses. So daily growing degree units and accumulated growing degree units. Then I have my notes, whatever I think I should put in for the sunny plot for that day. You can see how I put this different notes in here. I'll scroll back up and quickly read each one. First direct precipitation record on May the 18th. Potatoes planted on May the 22nd. Late potato planting on July the 6th. First garlic scape harvested on July the 8th. Harvested red currants, first St. John's wort flowers. Lettuce beginning to bolt. Harvest first set of turnips. Pollinated first vegetable marrow squash. First cherry harvest. Harvested garlic. First harvest of early Siberian tomato. First potato harvest. Picked up 3 to 4 gallons of Vita Red apples. And the Henhouse apples were starting to drop at that time. Harvested 2 neon pumpkins, mostly green but turning color. Harvested 12 pounds of Cliff apples for Uncle Eric. They still hold onto the tree well. Harvested russet potatoes. Harvested grapes. First fire to warm the house. First morning frost. Second morning frost. Leaf fall started on maple tree. Third frost. Harvested carrots. Moved blueberry bushes. That's in a video. Harvested rutabaga. Harvested last of Kennebec potatoes. Harvested extra potato sets and volunteers. That's the late ones. Onions and harvested onions and planted garlic. Main leaf fall. Moved the Osage orange and those trees. That's in a video. The tree planting video is there. We had rain on December 24th. We had snow on December 27th. And then we're down to December 31st, the last day of the year. So I've got the entire year put in now of data. And then I have a second column table. So you got your max, mean, min. That's your temperatures going across I have January, February, March, the months across here. Average maximum temperature, daily temperature for that month. The average and minimum daily temperature. And the mean daily temperature. And then at the end I have yearly average. Average relative humidities for the month. And the average humidity for the year. The total precipitation for the month and the total precipitation for the year. Now I have several thermometers going because I'm trying to do more of a sciencey thing and finding the different microclimates and how different things affects the temperature. So I have a sunny plot, the sun room, which I speak about often, the cold room where I store my vegetables right there, the grow room, that's right here. South wall, I have two thermometers there by the south wall. One is the ground is partially shaded by the two large bushes, the other one gets all the evening sun and no shade. So you get two different temperatures. South wall is down on that side and small cold frame. So that's what I have. 6 thermometers. But for the most part you only need one out in the open just to get a general idea of your growing patch and what the temperature regime is there. It is a good idea, I think, to have this relative humidity and precipitation. So get yourself a rain gauge along with the thermometer that reads relative humidity. I only have relative humidity for the first 3. That's because I bought other thermometers, and then when I bought these last one, I got this one that comes with 3 monitors, and this is the receiver, and all 3 monitors gives me relative humidity. Now what I've been wanting to do is take here, this is the perennials, I record what number of plants I actually have growing. When the leaf buds started growing, I wanted to record that, the leaf emergence, when the pink is what they call when the flower buds are just starting to open, and full bloom of course is when the plant is in full bloom. Petal fall when most of the flower petals are falling. Then when the fruit is noticeably starting to grow, when the fruit gets ripe, and of course extra notes. I haven't been very good at it. What I think I should be doing is make a physical table and take this clipboard when I do my daily walks with the tables on here and write it down as I go, because except for the notes, it's only one time during the year that I'll have to actually write. So it's not something that you're writing over and over. I just need one table for each one. That's perennials, the annuals, and the herbs. This red I got here, I've just put into, I got whether or not I've actually got it on the plan for this year, or that was last year now, what I'm showing you here. And the planned planting date, once it passes the planned planting date, then that block will go red. So it shows me that, like right here, the actual planting date is empty because I didn't plant it. Even though I had a planned planting date, I didn't plant it. So if I scroll down and I see any empty spaces, and then this one's red, it'd be like, oh, I'm late. Then when they noticeably starts to grow, it's the same as if you're doing something here in the grow room. You're watching your pots and you record when the seed is actually coming above the soil, right? Transplant date, if it's something I'm transplanting. Flowering date, fruit start, fruit ripe, Total harvest, I don't need this one. I'll show you why in just a second. But over here, right now I just, the only notes I put in there is where I've planted them. The herbs, now that's a little different, of course. Some of them have planting dates because they're annuals, but then for the rest, leaf emergence, the flowering date, fruit start, first harvest, and total harvest. I'm going to revamp this entire page. I don't like the way this one is done. Now, this is a harvest analysis. So this is the first time I done this. I done it quite simple. It was for Shed Wars, the first year. And I changed it last year. Now this year, I think this is pretty much the way it's going to stay. So what I've got done, I got the date down the side, same thing, right from January the 1st to December the 31st. And then in alphabetical order, everything that I'm growing, both the perennials and the annuals. Now, so far along, you'll get things like chives, mustard seed, the herbs. I'm going to put them on a different harvest analysis sheet because they're more difficult to tell the exact weight. I can put them in fresh weight on the harvest analysis sheet, and if I figure out what the ratio is fresh to dry, then I can have a calculation of what it is dry down on the bottom. So that's what I'm planning to do, take all the herbs off of this sheet and put them on another one. I can scroll on over, as you can see, it goes quite some distance. There's the end of everything I'm growing as regular vegetables or fruit. The total daily weight. So here, it's just early, that's the tomatoes I'm growing inside. So it's 0.022 kilograms. You got 0.022 kilograms for total daily weight. Let's put that total daily weight over close to the edge there so I can scroll down. You can see I got one small pepper there. Here we are in May. Got some lettuce. And now we're getting a bunch of lettuce in June and early July. See, I got chives I was harvesting there. On each day, I record in a notebook. When I bring them in away, I'm going to record in a notebook. I bring the notebook down to my computer, and I go across that day, and anything I got in my notebook, I put in the weight for that entire day. And then we get over here, and this is a computer formula, just sums up that full line up to that point. Then I have garden cost, livestock cost, and harvest, video tools, and of course, as always, notes. This garden cost, that's if I buy seeds, if I buy garden tools, if I buy soil, anything like that goes in the garden cost for that day. Livestock costs, anything I buy for the hens, if I got to buy a feeder, if I have to buy hens feed, if I have to buy something to build their pen, that kind of thing, that'll go under livestock cost. And then how many eggs I get from the hens per year. Hen harvest, now that'll be if I take a hen and I slaughter a hen, then once I got it cleaned up, I'll weigh it and I'll put the carcass weight in that day and calculate its value according to the current value if you were buying a chicken in the store. And notes, of course, self-explanatory. Now, 1958. I put that here, and then I put over in notes. It's an Incredible Seeds order from December the 25th, 2021. But I put it over on this year, over on 2022, because it was for 2022. And also the West Coast Seeds order, I ordered it on December the 27th, but I put over into 2022 because it was for 2022. Then I go down further, I bought sunchokes and chicken feed. Here's where I bought the coffee seeds from the Caribbean Garden Seeds, and they haven't sprouted yet. I received the coffee seeds there. This is another hobby that I'm starting there. $14.95. I got some more sea berry seeds from Annapolis Seeds. I bought that cordless pruning saw, which I done a video of. I bought seed potatoes. Then under livestock costs, see, I bought some hens feed. This is from the nursery, 2 curry plants, 1 sweet marjoram, 1 cranberry bush, and some flower seeds. Yeah, I wrecked all my tomato plants this year, so I had to go and buy tomato plants. 4 bags of hens feed, Fiskars and pruners, the ones I had broke. Here's under video tools where I bought my lavalier mic. That's this one. A dwarf tomato seeds, which we're growing right now. A livestock cost again, a bag of feed, 4 sacks of feed, 4 more sacks of feed, and then we get down to the bottom. And you see here, this is the total of what I paid out in garden cost in 2022, $503.53. For the hens, I had to pay out $660. I got from the hens 2,369 eggs, which is approximately 197.42 dozen. Currently, the price of eggs here are going around $5 a dozen, so which would give you a value of $987. I did the average weight of an egg, then I multiplied it by the number of eggs, and I found that they come to 159.118 kilograms, or 350.795 pounds of eggs. I never done any hen harvest, so that's a 0. And so far I've only bought the lavalier mic as far as video tools go. Now if we scroll back over here, see, I have to be up in this table in order for the headings to show along here. So we got apples, that's the Haida red apples, and I picked that few in the beginning, and that was it. They were so full of that fungus that it wasn't worth picking. And the apples by the hen house, however, I got 73 kilograms of picked off. I didn't bother to get the ones way up, because the ones I got last year actually was way more than what I could eat or do anything with. So I just took the ones that fell and the ones that were kind of easy to get down lower. It come to 160.94 pounds. Price per pound. Now these prices, I started those when I started doing up these tables for Shed Wars, and so they're 2016 prices. They're not the current price. At any rate, 160 pounds of potatoes at $2.50 a pound, you have $402. The Cliff apples, we harvested 32 pounds, 14.8 kilograms at $2.50 a pound, 81 bucks. See, this is the reason sometimes I can't get the actual price. There's arugula I couldn't get the price for. The beet greens is something else I didn't find a price for. Beans, I'm still getting very few beans. I'm coming along though. I mean, this is really the 2022 would have been the second year really. So this will be the third year, and I'll see how much space I got. I'm hoping to get a fair amount of beans this year. This is the dried beans, beet greens, beets, 17.16 kilograms, 37.8 pounds, for a value of $66. Sugar beets, 18 kilograms, almost 40 pounds, for a value of $50. Blueberries, broccoli, and so on, all the way across. So blueberry, broccoli, and so on, all the way across. And then over at the end, I got my total weight, 501.35 kilograms, or 1,005.929 pounds. Then at the bottom here, the very bottom, over here, so I have total kilograms, once again, 501.350 kilograms. Total in pounds is 1,105.29. The total worth is $2,156.23. That's Canadian dollars. I paid out for that, I paid out $503.53 and got back $2,156.23. For the hens this year, I paid out $660. I got back a value of $987.08. That's that part of my record keeping for 2022. We have more to say, but this video is almost half an hour now, so and this is a good place to end. So I hope you enjoyed it, found it interesting, and I got another video. We'll talk about the temperatures and precipitation. Hope to see you then. Thank you for watching.